Welcome back. Today here in the shop we're back to doing something that you would never guess. We're going to fix some more rusty metal. So the things that we're going to do today will apply to any vehicle and any project you might be working on, so let's get after it. I'm Mike and this is My Car's Shop.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
If you've been following along on this project, you know that we have been slowly transforming this section of the car, inch by inch, working our way forward in preparation for putting the quarter panel on this side. All of this is, of course, to get this part of the car stiffened up, get the frame rails finished up, and be able to put this car on the rotisserie. But I thought it would be worth going back and just recapping a little bit of what we did. First of all, I'll mention that the entire build on this car, from the very first when we pulled it out of the field where my buddy had it parked, all the way up until where the car is at currently, every bit of it is on the channel here in a playlist called Stitches, the 70 Challenger Project, or something like that. I don't know. But let's recap what we've done on this car. We've popped the roof back out because it was in a pile and crushed down. We have hand-built frame rails for this car, both right and left rear frame rails, all the way from the bumper up into the floor pan, which we still have floor pan work to do. We have made a couple of rear seat pans for this car now. Those were using parts that we had, repurposing to replace the rusty metal that's in there, and we're in the process now of rebuilding this wheel tub in preparation to hang the new quarter panel. About 80 to 90% of what we're doing on this car is all hand built. The exceptions would be the quarter panel, maybe going to replace the door, but we're pretty much going to use what we have with this old rusty piece of crap. Remember that Challenger E-body Mopars rust out because the back window seals were not very good, and all of that water over the years did really good to water the botanical garden that's growing in the back window, but was really bad for things like trunk floors and frame rails and wheel tubs and, well, just everything, because from this point back, inside this car was just wasted. So you can go back and look at all those episodes if you're interested in seeing not only the progress on this car, but actually the development of the channel over the last couple of years as well. But today we're back right here, going to pick up from where we left off and continue moving forward on finishing up this wheel tub so that we can get this quarter panel put on the car. Episode we had completed the wheel opening up in here, cut out all of that rusty metal. We mentioned that we need to do some work down here. We've got a little more trimming to do up in here, and this pillar inside is rusty way up in there, and we need to get up in there and do some work on that. But this part of the car is coming together pretty good. The back of the car on this side is still fairly flexible, but I know that's going to be stiffening up here pretty fast now that we're starting to get some of the structural integrity back in there, and I still have some more welding to do on the frame rail. So overall, I'm really happy with the way it's coming, but I think we're going to work on trying to fill in here today and maybe get down around here. I'm not sure yet. Some of this I think is going to be pretty self-explanatory. But I think we'll go up to our last brace here because, again, I'm just kind of putting it in, cutting it out, cutting out the braces. This is the last strap that we have in there from putting this wheel tub in place. And I think getting this next 10-inch section done will be the next step. And then, of course, we'll blow this out and start working down here. I don't know, maybe. But it's a little bit tedium, I suppose. But I really want to share with you what it takes to do this when you're going to fabricate stuff. So I have more thoughts on that, and I'll share those with you as we go through the episode. I'm sure there'll be tips, tricks, and techniques that I haven't shared before, which is why I just continue to share each step of this process with you. Okay, so got our piece cut. A little grinding to do on this edge. You can see that it's a little bit, it's got a bloop in it right there. So I'm gonna take my rotary grinder and just take that down a little bit. And then of course we've got to kind of come up with a plan here for putting this in there. Well, there's just gonna be stuff to do, so let's just do it. I went through and I put my metal over this and I traced it on the back side to give me the shape, and so that they line up against each other there nicely. So now I need to figure out what the edge needs to look like here. So I'm just going to slip it down in so this edge is just barely at the edge, and then of course this one needs to go down just a little teeny bit here. So that edge is just below the edge, and then we'll take our marker and give us a trace so we get an idea of where that edge needs to be on this. So now we'll take our snips along there and cut that off, and this piece should fit nicely there, and then we'll be prepared to go ahead and roll our 1/4 inch edge tip on that so that it moves in, and well, you know, we've done enough. Our piece fits rather nicely there. Lines up good on that end, so we can just butt weld that. Of course, we'll do cut and butt on this, and I don't know whether I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up more, or I don't know what I'm gonna do there. I'm gonna do something, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Right now I need to get this done. So we need to go through and put our line on where we're gonna tip that edge up to. I don't know, something like that maybe. I spy with my calibrated eye. It's not rocket science. We're just getting it kind of, sort of, So again, we'll tip that edge, and I gotta set the bead roller back up because we were doing another project on one of the other cars here with it. So we'll get that done, and we'll get this edge tipped on here, and then we'll fit this piece in and see what it looks like. You've seen this a million times before, but we're gonna go ahead and share it with you again anyway, because that's what we do here. My tipping die's in there. Get it lined up on my line, give her a little and just follow the line. Not doing any tipping, just kind of getting it there. Okay, very good. Lather, rinse, and repeat on that. Give her another turn. Give it a little up pressure while we're at it. Start to tip it. I was hoping Becky was going to be out here to help me with this one, but it's all good. Needs to go a little more, I think, so we'll give her another little. Okay, we'll go check it against the car and see how we're doing. Hopefully we haven't gone too much. Actually looking pretty good. It's pretty good, it's pretty good. Now it's got to curve this way a little bit. So I got to think about how I want to do that. Some of that is because of this here, so I think I'll start with dollying this back just a little bit and see how close we can get it to fit. We know we'll have to do a little trimming here, but let's go right there. Nice. Broke my spot weld there, no biggie. Okay, not going to work too well, I don't think. Well, actually, it worked better than I thought. Yeah, it actually brought me in quite a bit. Not disappointed with that. So, yeah, and I know I got to get this clamp together here because otherwise that's going to mess me up. Let's get a clamp on that. It's kind of like pounding on a piece of rubber right now, so All right, that's good enough. It's close enough. And it's actually not too bad. Well, I see how you are. Somebody suggested that I need to stop buying $3 Harbor Freight or Walmart clamps and buy some $5 Harbor Freight clamps. So maybe we need to make that happen. I don't know. But actually, that's not bad. Needs a little trim right in here. Just a little bit. Well, golly. I think that's better. Yeah, the whole piece almost needs to have a little bit of a curve this way, but it's so minuscule. I think I'll take the grinder and just try to dress it in a couple spots here, like in here, because there's a hump in there. Let's make an arrow. I think other than that, it's pretty good. As you've seen me say so many times before, I start down here, I'm working my way this way, it's looking good, and then the whole thing needs to bend a little bit. You can see it. So I need to just kind of bring that end around a little bit and bring that end around a little bit from about this point right here. So I just make myself some marks, and then the tricky part will be hammering on this edge. But I think we'll be able to do it without getting too carried away. I probably didn't put enough of an arc in it when I did it on the bead roller, but I think we'll be okay. So I think that did it for the most part. Again, we're starting down here at this other edge, and I think we're pretty good. It comes down around, and I think the next thing that will make the difference is trimming out some of this material back here, because yeah. So let's. I'm going to take my piece, kind of put it in place where it's kind of sort of going to be, and then just make a mark here so that I don't go any higher than that line there, just so I know about where I want to go. And I'm just going to come in here with my scissors or my tin snips and cut out some of that, because this is just kind of, it's thin anyway. So we'll just kind of come back in here and go, I don't want to get too high in there. I'll leave myself a little bit for cutting butt. Okay. That should help. That makes a significant difference now in how it looks. Yeah, if I would stop knocking it over, we're actually pretty good. Couple little tweaks. It almost looks like maybe this needs to stretch a little bit, which it's too wide. I can't stretch it. So I may just going to put a little slice in here, probably about right there, to just kind of that open just a little teeny bit. It's looking really good now. Now I need to determine what I want to do here. I think I'm going to take and bend this up in this vicinity just a little bit. I think that's going to be the way to do it. The whole upper edge really could bend just a bit. I don't want to go too much, but I kind of got to get that contour there. So I think we'll take this actually over to the, well, I could do it on the bead roller, I suppose. I don't know. We'll do it somehow. We're getting there. Could use a little bit more, but I'm not really that concerned. I got a little bit of a whoop in there, and I feel like this does need to kind of tip over that way a bit more. So we'll do that, and then there's a little work to do down here, but I think we'll do that after all the rest of this is done. Looks like this edge could also tip just a bit, so we'll do that with a hammer. think overall that's fitting pretty well. I don't want to get too crazy carried away. It's not like it's anything visible, so we'll go ahead and tack that in place and see where it comes out like. A little bit down here maybe, but I think once that's in there I can just tick that down and grind a little bit and make that work. Otherwise I think it's good. So I want to get this edge tacked first. Once that's tacked in, I don't know, 6 spots, then we'll start clamping this down and getting ready to do the cut and butt. That's fitting pretty good now. I did a bunch of fiddly-diddling around, but I think that's going to be good. So we'll go ahead and do our boop, bzz, 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 across there, and then a little bit up here. Then we're going to have to pull that down with some clamps a little bit, tack a few spots, and then we can work on doing our cut and butt up there. Again, it's all hidden. It's about structure. It's not about cosmetics. I'm not trying to do a crappy looking job, but by the same token, I am not going to waste all kinds of time doing fancy metal finish and fitment here for something like this when there's so much more important things on the car that are going to be visible. So we've got it tacked along there 6 times, and now I've got my clampers on here to squeeze that up in place a little bit. And probably needs a little more squeezage, but get the idea. We'll just go along, weld that in place. It fits nicely. But I need to take the grinder in there and get some bare metal first. Alright, so it's tacked in place, blew through right there as I mentioned. We'll deal, I gotta cut that off anyway with the cut and butt, so that'll be fine. Not gonna worry about that right now. So yeah, I think we're getting there. So we'll go ahead and get the cutoff wheel, get stuff cut off. And it looks like I maybe was a little bit tight here, but we'll see once this is cut, or I may have to go here and just cut this just a little bit. But it's okay. And there we go. Did a little hammer and dolly work just to flatten everything back out again. Metal was a little bit thinner up in here than I realized, so I did have some burning through issues, but it's not pretty, but it doesn't need to be. It's held. Oops, I missed a little spot right there. We'll catch. And you can see I'm kind of redesigning it just a little bit, but it's fine. The main thing is that it's going to work. We'll need to get the quarter panel back on there again to test fit, but I think we're going to go ahead and do our grinding and that stuff and get her looking pretty like that part does back there. Just like that. Again, we're not grinding everything down to perfection. Don't care. Not seen. But I'm going to do the next piece here. Down a ways. I'm not sure how far down I'm going to go with it yet. But I think I better stick that quarter panel back on there and just take a quick look. But I'm going to hit that with some some stuff and get it painted up while it's nice and clean and ready to roll. Not like you haven't seen it 1,000 times before, but it's fitting good. I checked everything inside. It looks fine. I'm not going to bother taking you down there. It's fitting up real nice and tight now, and so I'm really happy with the way that is. And if I have to, I can hammer and dolly, stuff around in there, but I don't think we're going to need to. So we're really getting close. So let's go on and do the next 8 to 10 inches on down. Well, I'll show you where I'm going to and why I have to stop there. I'm really bothered that this has a dent in it right there. It's not bad, just a little bit, but it's just the idea of a brand new panel. But I guess I have to remind myself, it's just, you can see it right there in the video. It would block out of there with a little bit of high build, but it's just the idea. But then again, for a $150 quarter panel, what do you expect? So that's what you sign up for when you buy cheap crap. But the whole car's a piece of cheap crap, so it's got to fit. So got to buzz this out. That's no big deal. I think I'm going to come down to maybe, I don't know, maybe in here somewhere with the next piece and call that good for this part. Because I got to go down here and I've got to replace this, and I can just about weld in here and put this together with just a very small piece of scrap. But I don't think I want to do any of this until I get this fixed down here. The end of the rocker panel and the bottom of the wheel tub needs some work. As you can see, we just got problems. So let's make a decision here. What do you guys think? Where should I go? I'm of two minds, and I guess it doesn't really much matter. Let's go down to here. And I'm of two minds because, I'll explain this, I hate to get too much attached to this in case I need to take this piece back out for some reason when I'm fixing that down there, but I don't think I'm going to. And I guess when I think about it, I've not attached anything here yet other than just a few spot welds. I do have to go back and solid weld that whole edge. So if I had to cut this piece back out, it wouldn't be any big deal to just and it out. So let's make a piece that's, we're not going to go all the way up in there. Zip this out and we'll make a piece that's like 1 inch wide to get us down, I don't know, down into here, and we'll do a cut and butt on that as well. I think I'm going to do an experiment just because I want to see if I can. I mean, I can do it. I just want to do the experiment. I cut this out of straight before I was thinking, and so I could go back and cut another piece that's got a curve in it, but I got this piece cut anyway, and I hate, not that I wouldn't use it somewhere else, but let's just see if we can stretch this around to follow that contour to make it work, and then we'll roll that in there, and I don't know, this shouldn't take long. I'm not going to waste much time on it, but I'm just curious more than anything about doing that. So let's get the shrinker stretcher set up, and well, I'll just show you if we get it, if it works. If it doesn't, well, then I'll say, nope, that didn't work, and we'll go back and cut a different piece of metal for this. Okay, so we're getting there. I'm gonna make myself a line here so I know about where to line things up. Okay, there we go. It's fitting pretty good. Now I just got to do a little trimming, I think, in here. And of course we'll have to cut this up in here somewhere, but we're not going to do that quite yet. So I take my snips and I think we'll be really close. Okay, that worked. Now the thing that is going to be kind of a the female dog part of this is getting this little bit of a lip in there, because I still need to do that at least some. So let's go surfing now. Everybody's learning how. Come on in safari with me. So we'll draw our 1/4 inch line around like so. I'm not 100% sure I want to go all the way with it, but I can, probably will. And that, yeah, I think that's the way to go. So because I have very little here, it's going to be, it's going to be a bugger to tip this. But I'll get it done. I promise I will. Okay, I think we actually got it tipped fairly well. Of course, so what I did was I just preloaded the neoprene wheel a lot without actually putting pressure on it. So I think I gotta push this back, which means I think I just need to go in here and start stretching things a little bit. I think that will do it. It'll push that back in. So then we'll need to make a determination on how much we're going to cut out of this. Meaning how much we're going to cut out of the wheel well. But let's just start stretching in here and see if that pushes it back the way I think it's going to. Okay, so I went through and I kind of pie sliced a little bit and pounded that back because it's going to get cut in butt, and I just want to make some room. We're good up to here, so I need to stretch that back some more in here. Just stretch to let that kind of fall around and just follow that contour down. It's coming along really nice. I'm happy with the way it's turning out. We're good from here to here, and then just needs more stretching here. So I got a little mismatch right in here where those two pieces come together, so I got to do a little there. But I think we'll do the same thing here, and this is just, that's the thing about doing this metal work. Stuff changes sometimes, just on the, just minusculely, and it's just a little bit too long, so I'm just gonna trim myself back a little more so we can drop that down just the ever so slightly. There we go. Much happier with that. And overall, I think that's pretty good. I got a little bit of, hammer and dolly tweaking to do. Boy, not much, but it's this edge got flattened out a little bit, so we'll teak that back, then we'll make our adjustment here, and I think we'll be ready to start kind of cutting and buttoning that in. Once I get this tagged here, I've got some hammer and dolly work, and I think that's what I'm going to do, is just go through and hammer and dolly it back into place once it's attached down here. And there we go. So we're ready to go ahead and tack that in place along our bottom edge first. Get that in there. Got a little bit of a humpy there, but I think that'll come out with the grinder before I tack it. What I'll do is just a little bit, and it's going to be good. I'm really happy with the way this is looking. Once that's tacked along the bottom, of course, we'll go back and kind of peen that over, and well, I don't know. We'll get it in there. Got that last piece put in. The wire on the welder just ran out finally. I got a new spool. I ran out the last little bit that was there, and I got a couple little pinholes to fill, but I'm out of time for today anyway. So got as far as I wanted to. So we've got most of this open wheel well put back together again. This piece is already obviously in place, but we've got to do that work down here that I mentioned. So overall, I'm happy with that. So thanks for being here. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. Hit the bell so you receive those notifications. And don't forget, wow.